Hello everyone! Today I have some mini journals to share, and these are also part of my craft fair series of videos, things I made for the craft fair. So I'll just flip through them each real quickly and let you see them. That looks good. We can show this one. So for this one, the closure, I just need a little belly band with some excess book page that was really mostly plain. You can kind of see, can you see? Yep, there's just one tiny little place where there was writing. And then I had this flower, die cut flower that was already cut out in my scraps, and I went over it with some antique linen oxide ink with a brush, you know, a blender brush thing. And then there's a, yeah, you can kind of see it. I won't go into detail. That's going to take way too long. So these were scraps, pretty much everything. This was, you know, something a digital I'd printed out and coffee stained a long time ago. Tag there, in there. I've glued it on as a pocket. Coloring paper that I colored that I didn't know what to do with, and then some scraps there. And I put it in my scrap bin, and now it's in here. These are testing papers I got from the thrift store a long time ago. And scrap there. And you can see there's, what is that, chocolate? Oh dear. Well, you know, I've been known to eat some chocolate while crafting. So this is a really old mini playing card that I have transformed into a tiny little piece of art with a book page. This is from a very vintage magazine, an image that I cut out, and some scrap little die cuts there. Keep going here. Added this here for a tuck. I have some Tim Holtz ephemera here that I folded because it didn't fit regularly. This, I think, is Daphne's diary. Yeah, from that magazine, maybe. Can't be sure about that. This is also some scrap paper ephemera stuff. Then there's the signature in the middle. It's just 3 holes, pamphlet stitch. Some scrap fabrics. You've seen in my previous video, if you've been a subscriber and watched, my little fabric and ribbon scrap holder. Again, that's the other Daphne's diary. Tracing, actually this isn't tracing paper, but it's like it. It's a vellum. And then, oh, I found these used stamps that somebody had at a garage sale, and it's backed onto, I don't know if I can, yeah, let's see. Can you see that? It's the original postcard it was on, but they had cut them out. So it's nice, hard, and so I trimmed it a little further and used it as a tuck spot. I am roving in the frame, aren't I? And then here's a little tag. This also was in a junk journal, my butterfly junk journal. That it's an altered book journal. You could see, well, it got too fat, and so I had to take, once I had started using it, I had to take some pages out, and I kept them, so that's what that is. This was a textile scrap, and then those are the Daphne diary offcut pages scraps, and that's that. And so you can see this part right here also came out of the butterfly journal, and that is where, you know, I tore it out of wherever it was, because I had to make it thinner, and that's the thing, it just was way too big. It's beautiful empty, but I wanted to fill it too. So, and no, I'm not going to let those go to waste. So they went into the scrap bin, and they're being reused. And actually, yeah, in fact, all of these covers came from that. I really had to take a lot out of that butterfly journal. Maybe I'll show you what it's looking like being filled up, but I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, this is just a scrap piece of ephemera I had. This was a wrapping paper sample, and I have no idea where I got it, but I've had it for a long time, and I used it. A little belly band there, which can be used, and then this is a tiny envelope. I have a little tiny envelope board, and let me grab. So I used some, what do you call that stuff? The two-way glue. Obviously, it's really snug there. And then I have this tiny little paper scrap inside, so this should, you know, open and close more easily, but man, it's hard to do with the big fingers and tiny journal. Another scrap here. Boop. Why am I making weird noises? I'm sorry. And then there's that. I'm going to try to talk less and flip faster so that you're not annoyed with me, huh? I put this little tab on here, and that's just a Tim Holtz paper. This is, again, that paper, I don't know how to explain it. Oh, I didn't put anything in the pocket here, but, you know, there's more room in this one. And then, see, these are such tiny little side pockets that I tried to put a tab on things. This is one of those, it was a printable that it's like a bobbin for threads and things that you can, I don't even know if that's the right word, but you can store them on. But I had used whatever I had on there, and I don't know, the cardstock wasn't really thick enough, so I didn't want to use it again for that purpose, so it goes in here, and it was the right color. This one's kind of a greens mixture, vintage and greens, and some red there. And this little tiny bookmark got stuck in there. And that was the ribbon closure for that one. Again, a ribbon closure. I really like the belly band closure, but that was the one I made last, the closure part, so the only one of it. I would have, if I hadn't already made all these, I probably would have done more of the belly band type one, but alas, it is what it is, and I'm not going to redo it. Here's another scrap I've had for a while. Oh, I love this one. It's got lots of butterflies in it, of course. And, you know I like butterflies. And here's another tuck scrap there. Some printed music paper. Here's another little tiny envelope I made, and see if I can get my little fingers in there. So on this one, it holds a 1 inch by 1 inch card. Isn't it adorable? And that's just a scrap. And then the tiny little ribbon scrap so that you can actually get it in and out. And then, you know, you could close it. This also is wrapping paper that I made the envelope out of, and another one of those. More stamp paper. Now this one you can kind of see that it has the postcard on the back, but I covered it up with a scrap of beautifully copy dyed paper. That way, you know, you could write a little note on there or something, you know? And this is from a magazine, probably Daphne's Diary, but I don't know. And I glued it in there. Then this is some scrap paper that I recently cut up and recently added to my bin. I like it there. And ta-da, more butterflies. This is so soft. And we have the vellum paper there. And finally, that is the end of that one. Another ribbon closure here. That was in the scrap bin. I'm going to come down this way because you'll see why in a moment. This is why I went down the other way. So I have this garment pin with a button and a few sequins on this tiny little scrap of crochet material, flour. And I didn't cover up the numbers on that one. So, oh, this page was actually a printed calendar that I made, and it was like a traveler's notebook size, and I had turned them into pockets, but I guess I started using a different calendar, and so I didn't need it anymore, and put it in the scrap bin, and now it has found a place. Here's turn that into a tuck. I love this vintage fountain pen paper. Again, another little tiny art card, art tag, you want to call it? Yeah. That's not a nice word, is it? It's not even a word. It's not a nice utterance. I'm sorry. I love how this turned out. This was, it was for a planner, like a planner scrap, and it had some little saying there, and I wanted to use, I didn't want the heart part, so I had punched out the circle with the saying, and then I saved this part, and I turned this into a tuck, and then I had this little watering can I put on this, this is from a magazine, and so, you know, whoever gets this journal can put a picture in there or something, but for now, there's this little cute image in to demonstrate the possibilities there, I guess. Because I want these to be used, even though they're tiny, they are useful, and I think they're great for like a notes journal, jotting down ideas. If you're someone like me who's constantly thinking, it can be nice to have a little place to put those thoughts. And that one is an elastic closure. Love that. I'm limited. I don't have a lot of that left, and that's the only pattern I have left. So, oh, this one I think was my favorite one because it has lots of turquoise and butterflies. And yeah, so that's a little photo corner thing. And this is another one that I turned into a tuck. I have some washi with a little washi tab there. Loved this stamp. I'm almost hoping nobody buys this little mini because I kind of want to keep it. But I can't justify that unless no one buys it. So we'll see. Isn't that beautiful? It's from Japan. Oh, I just love that stamp. And it was a great find at that garage sale because I think I paid like 10 cents or 50 cents for this little bag of used stamps. And that's right up my alley because, you know, I can't go to all these places and get mail from all these places. This is a tuck, but I don't have anything in there. And this one is not a tuck, but I just kind of decorated that white page a little. I think I've mentioned before that I don't like stark white pages. They're not my favorite. I appreciate them in other people's art, but I just can't seem to leave them white in my own. That's a hard thing for me. Yeah, well, look, there I left that one, but see, it has this color on the side with a tab. Another one of those. And that is potentially a tuck spot as well on the vellum. And then I did, this is a tiny little place. There's not a lot, but yeah, that goes in there just lovely. And lastly, I wonder if this will slide off easily. This was some ribbon that I've had for a long time, and it came in like a little embellishment kit. So it came with this little belt buckle and a few other little brads and things that were all this shade. It was probably like Stampin' Up! Or Close to My Heart, one of those companies, and it just went perfectly with this. And I just love the little belt buckle, and I didn't know what to do with these little belt buckles because I don't really do scrapbook pages anymore. And sorry, that's what it was originally intended for. And that it's a great little item for a belly band. So if you have those in your stash and you're just like, okay, I don't know what to do with this, use it to wrap something. Use it as a belt for your journal. Anyway, I just love how that turned out. I love it when I am able to use something that I've kept because I'm like, I'm gonna use this, but I haven't. Oh, this is just a scrap. It's not pretty on the back, but I love that image, that little part of the strawberry. Another mini envelope. I think I had this in my desk drawer even because I had made it when I got the envelope maker thing. It's a 1-inch square card holding envelope, but yeah, so now it was a good color for this. And you see, I put this tiny little tab on there just because it's hard for my fingers to get in and out, but I mean, I want to use them. I love the mini things, and I've always loved mini things that function. Like, you remember those Hot Wheels cars? This might age me, but my favorite were the ones that had like a trunk that opened or doors that opened, and I would go out and I'd play outside and I'd have, you know, the little dirt town, not too many toys, just maybe a Hot Wheels car, and I'd take a tiny little stick or anything that I could pretend was a little person, and they would get in that door and drive, and just love functional tiny things. That may make me weird, but I am weird, so embrace it. Anyway, that's it for today, and I hope you've enjoyed having this little look. I hope it inspires you. Where will your imagination take you today? Let your creativity soar. Bye!